Yesterday we said that while yogis are scanning the objects as they arise in the body, they will be able to cultivate knowledge, beginning with the discernment of mind and body. Thus, they become free of the view of self, of view of soul, or view of the existence of person, being, individuals. Therefore, when they come to this stage, they are said to be physically cultivated. They are probably molded physically to some extent. However, just knowing the mind and body, or discernment of mind and body, is not enough to cultivate additional knowledge, namely the conditionality of mind and body, that things arise due to cause and condition. And if one holds that sense of cause, then one will be holding the view of causelessness. And even if one holds the view of the presence of cause and condition, one may be holding a view known as fictitious cause view, that is taking what is not the cause as cause. Thus one will be believing in a wrong way, knowing in a wrong way, that is believing in the existence of Supreme Being or Creator. And we also discussed the nature of this Supreme Being called Paṇḍitā. It has the quality of Isvara or Isra. That means it controls the world. Everything happens, whatever happens, whether it is animate or inanimate, whether it is living or non-living. Everything happens at the will of this Supreme Being. That is what was taken. And everything happens as it wishes. And also another quality of this Paṇḍitā Supreme Being is that it is knower of all things that should be known, and it is one and only one. And also it doesn't have the physical suffering or happiness, and it has no form of existence and so on. Such is the nature of Paṇḍitā that was believed by those who believe in this Supreme Being, or Mahabrahma, who is said to create the world. So now let us find out and analyze whether the Mahabrahma exists in this mind and body, as we are able to discern mind and body, and also when we are understanding the cause and condition. We do not practice with full commitment in the spirit of Satipatthana, we will not be able to realize the benefits beginning with the purity of mind, that is Chitta Visuddhi. And if there is no purity of mind, one will not be able to understand the discernment of mind and body. So we have to take vows of precept, take sila precepts, practice the basic precepts. As for the monks, they have their own precepts, and lay people also have to observe their own precepts. And for lay people, they observe these 5 precepts in the minimum. Only when one is morally pure, that is, by observing precepts, sila visuddhi, and if we are able to practice mindfulness with full commitment, we will be able to deepen our concentration. If we can do that for 1 minute continuously, or 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, and so on, we become free of these hindrances to progress, known as nivaranas, such as realizing the purity of mind, Citta Visuddhi, known as Citta Visuddhi. Then we continue to practice mindfulness, and as we strengthen these mental powers, namely Vriya, Sati, Samadhi, energy, mindfulness and concentration, we discern mind and body. And as we have explained yesterday, by giving an example, as we are sitting down from standing position, as we are going to sit down, there is an intention to sit, and this intention happens in stages, not just in one moment. That is mentality, Dhamma. And as a result of this series of intention to sit, there arises this series of sitting process, the body is sinking down heavily. That is materiality, Rupa, body. And this mental series also happen continuously as much as the physical series. Just like the flow of electric current. As a result of this continuous flow of mind or mentality, that is the intention to sit, there arises the continuous series of sitting process. In this way, one discerns mind and body. By energetically aiming at the arising object and connecting with the object of attention, one sees clearly in this way. That is, as a result of this mentality, there arises this materiality continuously. One understands the existence of mind and body. Such as cultivating knowledge, known as discernment of mind and body, called Nama Rupa, Parichita Jnana. That is discerning mind and body. And at that moment, at that stage, one will be able to overcome the view of self or soul, Jiva, and wrong view, deity. But of course, at this stage, it is not the overcoming of this view of self to the point of no return. As one practices like this and progress along the path of insight, reaching the maturity, realizing the ultimate peace, at this stage, first of all, cultivating the first path consciousness, first fermenting path, Sorapana, then only one will be able to overcome the view of self or soul to the point of no return. At this point, one discerns mind and body very clearly that there is no such thing as a living entity in ourselves. During the practice of meditation, one is able to discern mind and body, but if one does not continue to practice, one will not know further, that is, one will not know the conditionality of mind and body. One may hold a view of causelessness, that there is no such cause, because one is not knowing the realities. One is not knowing things in a clear-cut manner. One is said to be deluded or confused, known as samoha. One is said to be in darkness. The layer of darkness is said to be thick at this moment. That is, if we are not able to understand the conditionality of mind and body. Such as holding that there is no cause, holding the view of causelessness in mind and body. And such a view is known as ahetuka ditthi, view of causelessness. Holding that things happen by chance or on their own, and so on. And also, if one is not holding, even if one holds a view of the presence of cause, if one is not understanding the relevancy of cause and effect, one may still hold the view of the presence of the Mahabrahma, Supreme Being or Creator, then such a being creates everything, including human beings. And in this way, holding what is not the cause as cause, not understanding the relevant cause, giving rise to relevant effect, because one is not practicing in the spirit of Satipatthana, or one is not applying the principles of Satipatthana. So one is not knowing properly, understanding properly. As such also is known as samoha, deep delusion, intense delusion or confusion. Confusing about mind and body as being created by the Creator. And such a view is only from imagination or fantasies, not the real one. So in this way, if one is overcome by such a view, that is view of causelessness and view of the unnecessary cause, these two things, they are known as ahidukatiti, view of causelessness, and another one is known as visama ahidukatiti, fictitious cause view, that is holding what is not the cause as cause. So in order to do that, one has got to discern mind and body and their conditionality. Now, with the practice of Satipatthana, one comes to know these things. One comes to cultivate the realities. But of course, only when one realizes the first super-mundane path will one be free of such views. Because if one is not knowing the cause and effect, one will be holding doubts about such things. Hence, there will be wrong perception, wrong belief. And the root cause lies in not knowing the cause and effect of mind and body. When one is said to be in deep darkness, you are said to be realizing this knowledge, knowing things as they are, known as Theravada, Vipassana jnana. Let us say when you are sitting down from a standing position, as we have already discussed, there arises these intentions in stages, in series, and this intention is the cause, mentality, and they are the realities. The intentions exist as realities. They are really existing mentalities. There's no denial about it. And as a result of this intention to sit, which happens in series as a cause, there arises the effect, namely actual sitting down process, the body sinking down slowly and slowly, which is the materiality, and which is the effect. And this is the real one, this is a really existing thing, and there is no denial about it. So, once we know this linkage of cause and effect, we are said to be straightening the Dhamma path, that is realizing the Yatha Buddha, the realities, applying the principles of Satipatthana in a radical way, and guarding your mind with vigilant mindfulness of whatever arises. You are scanning the objects in the body, you are seeing the realities of cause and effect. And as you continue to practice in this way, you become clear of doubts. Once you understand the cause and effect, you are said to be realizing this knowledge known as the knowledge of realities, or knowledge of knowing things as they are, Theravada, known as Theravada, Vipassana jnana. Let us say when you are sitting down from a standing position, as we have already discussed, there arises these intentions in stages, in series, and this intention is the cause, mentality, and they are the realities. The intentions exist as realities. They are really existing mentalities. There's no denial about it. And as a result of this intention to sit, which happens in series as a cause, there arises the affect, namely actual sitting down process, the body is sinking down slowly and slowly, which is the materiality, and which is the affect. And this is a real one, this is a really existing thing, and there is no denial about it. So, once we know this linkage of cause and effect, we are said to be straightening the Dhamma path, that is realizing the Yatha Bhuta, the realities. And with the practice of Satipatthana, you note sitting as sitting, and not just knowing as sitting only, the nature of sitting only, but you know it as the cause, which is happening in series, and it results in actual sitting process. The intention is the cause, and sitting is the effect or result. Such is realizing, cultivating the knowledge of realities, known as Yatha Bhuta Vipassana Jnana, or just Yatha Bhuta Jnana. As this happens, as you are able to cultivate this, then you become free of this intense delusion or confusion, known as Sammoha Abhinivisa or Sammoha Abhinivisa, intense delusion, intense confusion, or intense darkness. Then you become free of this intense darkness. Because you are knowing it rightly, you are seeing the cause of effect correctly, you are free of this darkness. Otherwise, you may be thinking that there's no cause and condition. And previously, because we are not practiced Satipatthana, we might have thought that there was no cause and effect, because we were covered up by this darkness of delusion. Now we are seeing it in a clear-cut manner, and to say to ourselves, alas, there are this cause and effect. Things arise due to cause and condition. As we sit down, there is this linkage. Things happen according to the linkage of cause and effect. And you are satisfied with the practice. As much as things happen in the present, you can deduce that such cause and effect linkage must have existed in the past, and it will exist in the future. In this way, you will be clear of doubts about the past and the future by deduction. And also, as much as it happens in yourself, you can deduce that such a thing, that is the linkage of cause and effect, will happen in others as well. In this way, once you understand the conditionality of mind and body, you are overcoming this delusion or confusion known as Sammoha, which have been covering us all along the time, holding the view of causelessness and so on. Because of the wrong perception, we have been led to believe in a wrong way. Now, we have removed such doubts. So, we become very clear. Because of the right perception, and there is a right belief. And once you know that, you are said to be free of this intense delusion or confusion, known as Sammoha Abhinivisa. And by cultivating the knowledge of realities, or knowledge of things as they arise, called Yatha Bhuta Vipassana Jnana. And such knowledge arises as a result of activating mindfulness with energetic aim and deepening one's concentration, Khanika Samadhi. And such kind of knowledge is not through fantasies or imaginations or intellectualization or from books or hearsay. And such thing is the real knowledge. And the knowledge through books and hearsay and fantasies are not the real ones. They are only perceptions, not knowledge or wisdom. And they are not full knowledge. And they are not your personal experience. And they cannot be right. Now, as you note, as things arise with the practice of Vipassana, you are correctly knowing things, which is real knowledge, full knowledge, and your personal knowledge or experiential knowledge. That is the correct knowledge, which is realized through your own practice, overcoming this darkness of delusion. Delusion leading to wrong perception, to wrong view or wrong belief, such as the believing in the existence of Supreme Being, Mahabrahma, which creates everything. In this way, you are overcome by this intense delusion, abhinivesa, all along your lifetimes. Now, with the practice of Satipatthana, knowing the conditionality of mind and body, your intense delusion is gone. There's no more view of the existence of Supreme Being, Paramata. And at this stage, you are said to be assured of destiny in this Buddha's dispensation. And such a person has been praised in the text as Dasa Sotapanna. Because one has not known this conditionality of mind and body, there is the doubts from the wrong perception, wrong view, and you cannot come to a decision. You will be doubtful because you are believing in something, so that your views are not properly shaped. Holding the view of the existence of Mahabrahma, you will be afraid of being punished by the Supreme Being, so you have to do all sorts of rites and rituals to be favored by the Supreme Being. And now you are knowing the conditionality of mind and body, you are said to be able to, so to speak, breathe easily. That means your destiny is assured. Now you are clear of doubts, because you are seeing things clearly. And knowing this cause and condition, you say to yourself that this is correct. You come to acceptance and believe in it. You come to a definite resolution. Such is instilling in you the faith and confidence called Saddha. In the beginning, with the discernment of mind and body, you have some Saddha to some extent, but at this time, you are fully believing it. Now, of course, you will be able to believe it to the point of you are only fully believing only when you realize the first permanent path. That is the difference. And therefore, this fixed law of Vipassana, that is, as you sit, there is this intention to sit, and the actual sitting is the result. There is no such thing as creator. And as you note, what happens are the conditionality. And as you note, you are bound to see in a clear-cut manner. Otherwise, you will not be able to come to a decision. Now, seeing the cause and effect of conditionality, you are able to become clear of doubts, because you are said to become enlightened, or you have become, you come to know it, and you come to accept as being correct, and in this way overcome skeptical doubt. once you understand the conditionality of mind and body clearly, previously you are not aware of this, now you know it as this is the cause and this is the effect. Such is the cause and such is the effect. Then you have still faith and confidence. You cultivate knowledge and you are believing it with knowledge. This is correct knowledge and correct view. Now you know that there is a cause and effect, this conditionality, linkage of cause and effect is correct, and there is only this cause and effect. And in this way, because you are knowing it correctly, this knowledge, correct knowledge is realized with the practice of Satipatthana. At this stage, you don't need to do things to favor the Supreme Being. If one believes in Supreme Being, you don't need to perform rites and rituals or to be favored by the Supreme Being, because you are knowing it rightly. You know that this knowledge of cause and effect is substantial, more substantial than knowing the existence of Supreme Being. By knowing this, you are cherishing this knowledge, appreciating this knowledge. You are said to be uplifting your quality of life, and such also is Atta Samapaniti. Atta means your own mind, and Samma, practicing correctly with this practice of Satipatthana and noting whatever arises in your body, and Paniti, conducting or keeping. So conducting yourself in the right way. At this moment, when one comes to know the realities, the knowledge is said to have uplifted that person who has come to know the realities, so that one's quality of life becomes higher, because one is able to keep the mind in a correct way with the practice of mindfulness. One can keep the mind straight. One is said to be rectifying one's mental condition with the practice of Satipatthana. Previously, before we undertake the practice of meditation, Satipatthana, or even if we practice, if we are not fully practicing the Satipatthana, not having come to this knowledge, that is knowledge of mind and body, knowledge of cause and effect, we will be very much wearied, we will be very much undermined, we will suffer a lot. Now we can feel satisfied with ourselves. Before, the mind was not straight, the path of our mentality was not straight, it was in the wrong way, so that we will be believing in wrong things, we will be holding wrong views. At that time, our status, our life was said to be degraded, not uplifted. Now, with the practice of Satipatthana, keeping the mind straight, keeping the path of Dhamma straight, knowing the mind and body and the conditionality, our mind is said to be rectified with the practice. Such, in this way, our life, mental life, is said to be uplifted. Because we're able to keep our mind in a straight way, in a correct way, we are said to be uplifted. And in this way, we should see the difference. Without Satipatthana practice, we will be degraded. With the practice of Satipatthana, we will be uplifted. So, we are giving these examples of conditionality of mind and body. We have discussed how mind produces the body, or mentality causes materiality to some extent. And there are many instances of how mind produces the body, or nama produces rupa, such as when we are changing postures or manners, from sitting to standing, or standing to sitting, or bending, stretching our limbs, lifting, moving, placing, and even to the extent of closing and opening of our eyes. There are many such instances of how Nama produces Rupa. And as much as Nama produces Rupa, there are other instances, examples, to show how Nama produces Nama, how Rupa produces Nama, and in this way there are many cases of relevancy of cause and effect. That is how relevant cause, how the cause gives rise to relevant effects. We shall explain this tomorrow.